Good afternoon and welcome to your Harding Telecom News. I'm LJ Scott. We have a special guest here, a guest that I blueprinted my game off of, Maurice Clarett. Can you just explain to us what we're doing, or what you're doing here today?
I'm here to help encourage students, help them to encourage to stay focused on their goals, to eliminate distractions that they may have in their lives, just to kind of get all the noise out of your life. In order to be who you want to become in life, you have to have like a definitive purpose. So you have to have a laser focus in regards to becoming who you want to become. And my whole message was just telling the kids to cut out the distractions, cut out the negative people in your life, cut out everything that's unproductive, that doesn't allow you to help you reach the goal that it is that you want to reach. No matter if you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, a professional athlete, somebody successful in the film industry, but anything that doesn't allow you or assist you into becoming who you want to become is something that you need to cut out.
And during the earlier today, he had talked to the student body in assembly. You spoke of 3 goals. There was 3 specific goals that you wanted the students to pull out, if not anything they pulled out in the assembly. There was 3 specific things. Can you elaborate on a little bit of what that was?
The first one was I'm a big believer in learning to give attention to your imagination. Albert Einstein, if I can paraphrase it right, I think he said the life that you want to live is all in your imagination. So pay attention to your imagination, because that's the life you want to live. Next, you need to hitch it to goals. Your goals are basically things that you want to be, things that you want to make happen in that process. And then after that, it's the purpose. Then after that, it's the daily discipline and purpose towards reaching those goals to fulfill the things that you see in your imagination. So the way it kind of lines up is, okay, first I find, you kind of work backwards. Okay, I imagine what it is that I want to become. Okay, my goals are becoming that, or my goals are doing that, or my goals are the process of getting what it is I want is, here we go. I want to become a successful football player. The goals to be the goals is to be the leading rusher, the best back on the team, or the most effective leader inside my own locker room. And then the process of it. Okay, what do I need to do to get to that process? What do I need to do to reach my goals? And after I reach my goals, then I'm living in my imagination. And I think once you start to feed forward, you start to think forward, and live in that forward position. That's when you kind of stay focused. But again, I always lean or come back to discipline. It's all about the daily discipline and the attitude, desire, and the effort that you use to pursue these goals. You know, it all falls back in there. If you want to be the best player on the team, you have to exemplify a certain attitude. You have to do certain things. You have to be special inside the classroom. You have to be special towards your teammates. You have to be uplifting when people don't want to practice, or you have to kind of set the tone. You know what I mean? If you're that guy, and I think everybody needs to have a feeling that they're that person who can help set the tone. I think when you can have a group of people like that living in harmony or operating in harmony, no matter what you're doing, I think special things happen.
Now, you just talked a little bit about discipline, and if you guys don't know a little bit about his story, he had took a very successful career, and then he took a wrong turn a little bit in his path to success. Where did you lose your discipline, do you think?
I lost my discipline when I lost my goals. I was kicked out of school in 2003, and football was the only goal that I had and I attained, or that meant something to me at the time. So when I didn't have any goals and I didn't have any purpose, so to speak, in life, all my thoughts were aimless, all my actions were aimless, and that's when bad habits started to creep in. And that's one thing I still preach to this day. You need to have some goals, because if you don't, your behavior is aimless. It goes anywhere. If a person doesn't have, or if a man or woman, boy or girl, young adult, if you don't have something that you're looking forward to, if you don't have something to hold your behavior accountable to, it's going to be crazy, and you're going to be an unproductive human being. And that was me at the time. So instead of going to practice, going to work, I still had the same ambition as a person, but I had ambition inside to partying. You know, I put that same ambition inside partying, or I put that same ambition inside of women. I put that same ambition inside of drugs. It's still the same ambition, just the wrong aim. You know what I'm saying? I was aiming towards something else because I didn't have a major purpose. I didn't have a definitive purpose that Maurice Clarett was chasing. Prior to that was just football.
And during your assembly, you talked a lot about for people who don't have the athletic abilities that you possess, that doesn't mean your road should end right there, that you could still further your road of success through education and basically teaching yourself. And you talked a lot about books. What was a few books that you really prided yourself on?
No, the first book was As a Man Thinketh. It was a basically it was a basic simple book. It was by James Allen, and it was As a Man Thinketh, so shall he become. But it was really it really broke down like from a spiritual standpoint. Everything that you think, everything that you put in your head, or every decision that you decide, or everything that comes into your life that you don't decide to weed out, be it negative or feed into it or give it positive information. If it's positive, these things become your life. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins. He was a guy always talking about being conscious of your behavior, being powerful instead of being forceful, being humble, you know what I'm saying, or just working from a more conscious standpoint. Those things helped me tremendously. And after that, I read a bunch of books about investments. I thought football was over for me for a large part. And I thought football was over for me for a large part, and I thought, what would I want to do, or what would I be able to do if I didn't have football in my hands? So I love business. I love the interaction between people. I love figuring out numbers. So I taught myself about the stock market. I taught myself about investments. And I thought about who's the greatest investor in the world, and it was Warren Buffett. And he was the guy who I had most accessible information to. And so I studied that guy, and even if I didn't play football again in my life, I felt that I could be successful in some type of other endeavor once I got outside of prison. But I'm a huge believer in self-education. Some of the things that they teach you in school, don't necessarily help or assist you to get to where you want to go. So I'm a firm believer, or a firm promoter, and you can get to the library, you can get to half-price books, and you can read specifically on what it is that you want to accomplish. And I believe if you take that standpoint, be it in football or be it any area in your life, and whatever you want to become, you can become that guy. You can become who you want to become because the information is out there. And if you're dedicated and passionate about it, you'll go read the book and you'll apply the information, and you'll figure out or find out more things throughout the process.
A question of viewers would like to know is, now that you've turned it's a complete 360, now that you've turned your life around, what are you doing as of today?
As of today, one thing I have is a comeback project back home, but it's a simple initiative that I took back home with a guy by the name of Pastor Nate Ortiz. But we took about 20 kids, and the initiative initially is to be a father figure, be role models and mentors. It's ran at a Christian-based facility, and they have enough people there that's going to biblical school to kind of hold these kids accountable for just progress reports every week. We tie the behavior in school and their attendance at the place called The Ride. It's basically a thing that you come to every week for Christianity, to get fed religion, basically. We tie the behavior based on rewards. So, okay, we have a set of Browns tickets. Okay, if you, for the first 9 weeks, if you go, you have your grades right, you have everything going productive for yourself, and you don't miss a date here at The Ride every week for the next 9 weeks, we'll reward you with tickets for The Ride. You have different people that donate iPads. They'll donate cards to Subway, Cold Stone, or different things of that nature. That's one thing. In the spring, I plan on starting off a football academy, and it's basically mimicking what I think guys will encounter once they go into these college campuses, or understanding the intensity, or things that that's going to come in play. I was the one who actually started out graduating early from high school, so I understand the benefit that you get from going to a school the first 3 or 4 months, and I also understand the things that you may lack or the things that you may not see inside that process. So to start something right there. And the last thing, I got one initiative with the guys from Assemblies of God, and they're going around and they're adopting 275 schools in Ohio, and they're giving between $10,000 and $20,000 and connecting churches. Our churches are adopting schools. To connect the schools to help them in any capacity. Say it's leadership programs that you all want to do, and you all may not have the resources for it. Not particularly this school, but another school. But they'll provide the resources for it. They'll provide the people to help sustain it inside the community. But just building up better people. And for that initiative, there was a guy who approached me. He asked me, can I help kick it off and help be the face of it throughout the state and potentially throughout the nation. So that's one thing I'm proud of. And of course, I go around and talking. So a lot of good things, a lot of good information, but everything's good.
Now, for student athletes, what was the biggest transition that you had to really adjust yourself as far as going from high school sports and academics to college sports and academics? Because I myself am graduating early, so I would definitely like to know.
Just time management. Here, so much of your time is structured. You may get to school and you may have 3 classes, and then after that, you just have the rest of the day to yourself. And if you don't find out how to fill in those gaps or fill in those hours with something productive towards what it is that you're trying to do, you know what I mean, you're going to fall off. Or say you don't have some sort of success on the field that you feel that you want to have early on. If you've not trained yourself to make your time useful outside of football, you know what I mean, you'll fall to the wayside, or you'll be another story, or you'll be a Maurice Clarett of the past. You know what I mean? So the biggest transition is time management. You know, of course, when you get to college, there's partying, there's more women, there's more of everything. There's more kids that are acting reckless. You know what I mean? And if that's what you choose to do, if that's what you choose to engage in, the consequences of that will play themselves out. That lifestyle will run its course. But if I can say anything, if I can rewind the clock and say, what is it that I wish I would have knew, or I wish I can give to somebody, it would be to understand how to manage your time and just understand, okay, I may not be as good as I want to be in whatever classes that I'm taking, my freshman English or my freshman math, wherever you decide to place that. How much time and energy do I put in this and to be as successful and graduate on time? Or just make that self a goal. Okay, you graduated high school early. How about you set a goal to graduate college early, and then hold yourself to that commitment? Okay, what am I doing to graduate college early? Okay, of course, you know, once you go to the next level, it's intense. You know, I mean, you're going to need more weights. You're going to need better nutrition. How strict is your nutrition? But if anything, it's just time management and forcing yourself to put yourself in environments that are supportive towards you being successful on the football field and in the classroom.
Okay. And I mean, now we're going to switch it over a little bit. We're going to talk a little football. So
football, okay.
If you're left field, then don't mind us. But this is a personal question. In 2002 National Championship, this play was because like now you'll watch ESPN, you'll see plays that are just focused on talent and what he can do with his ability, and you made a play that 2002 National Championship that I think showed all the attributes of what an athlete should be. Showed heart, the will to win, determination. Craig Krenzel threw an interception to Sean Taylor on Miami Hurricanes, and he was returning it, and you chased him down, you stripped the ball from him, which probably the most pivotal play of that game was that play. What was going through your head at the time? Like what?
You're so in tune to the game, you don't understand everything else that's going on. So I heard the play call, I got back there and I was focused on my assignment. And just through the process, I don't know if I did cut block the guy, but when I got up, I seen Sean Taylor come back. But I'm also understanding this is like an intense moment of this game. So one of the first things, or one of the first drills that everywhere I've been, one of the first drills you do as a running back is ball security drills. And so the initial thing that I saw with Sean Taylor was he was carrying the ball crazy. You know, as a running back, you're supposed to have it high and tight, close to your body. And I was thinking about just getting out of the way, not getting hit, because you know, once the interception happens, you get people coming back, you can get cleaned up. And so I took an angle that I knew I can get him, and you know, basically. I was surprised that he didn't see me coming, but got the ball back for my team. But you know how it is when you out there, you have to sort of get to that moment where you put in so much work, and you've put in so many hours into what you're doing that you're determined and destined for it to pay off. And that's what happened. Like anything that I dive into, or just me myself inside that season. Me having a knee surgery early in the season, I had put so much time into becoming who I wanted to become that there was nothing that was going to stop me. And I think when you drill stuff like that in your head, I think like you're aware of that opportunity to get the ball back for your team, or you have that mentality. You know what I mean? I'm going to win regardless. I'm going to win because I put in so much work to have myself to win, and you're going to take advantage of that moment. And that was just a result of me putting in so much work or being so aware to put us in a position to win. I think that was I think that those qualities that I had put in myself before they had surfaced.
Yeah, because they definitely keyed in on you in that game. I believe you went. I mean, it's weird that I know your statistics to this day.
Oh, you're a student of the game. Hey, he got a future at this. He good at this, I tell you that.
I'm pretty sure.
He asking better questions than ESPN.
I'm pretty sure it was 23 carries, 47 yards on 2 touchdowns. 1 touchdown being in overtime to win you the game. What was going through your head? Because I know as a kid I cried my eyes out when I seen the flag. When I seen you guys drop that pass to, was it Chris Gamble?
Chris Gamble, yeah.
To in overtime to lose the game, and then the flag came late. But what was going through your head before the flag came?
It was pretty much just getting the end zone. Of course, the momentum kept shifting. And, you know, I mean, to be honest, it was just a long game. It was just a very long game. It probably took 4 or 5 hours with all the interruptions. Excuse me. But it was just a long game, and I wasn't really sure why we didn't run the ball more inside to try to get in the end zone. But when he threw it over to Gamble, and when Gamble initially tried to catch the ball and he didn't catch it, I seen players running onto the field throwing their helmets in the air. And at that point, I was like, man, it's over. You know what I'm saying? We have fought all we can. And I could still even remember that moment right now, just being on the field. I was probably around the 40-yard line, like, man, like, I can't believe it's over. You know what I mean? But then when the flag came into play, it was like, you know, you rejuvenated because you know you have another opportunity. And we definitely took advantage of it. And you know, that's the play or the picture that all Buckeye fans see when I'm diving across the end zone. That happened to be that play.
Now, again, referring to the game, when C. Grant goes in and he gets the quarterback, now it's going through your head after the strip, after the pass interference, now this, what's going through your head?
Man, you jump through the roof because everything that you set out for, everything that you set out to do, you know what I mean? Like, there's nobody else. There's 112, 13, 14, 15 Division I teams, I don't know. But everything that you do with the group of people that you got, you know what I'm saying, those 100 guys that you got on the team, throughout the world, there's a lot of people that pick up footballs. There's a lot of people who train. There's a lot of people who are dedicated to this game. And you, along with the guys that you brought out there, your team, the people who support you, the people who you sweat with, you know, all those things, you know, I can feel it right now. All those things that you do or all those things you've done, you have actualized it. You have gotten a trophy. You've done everything that you've done, or you completed that mission. You know what I mean? And there's nothing like it. Just like it's kind of like a kid when they're going to graduate high school or something like that, and they get really emotional. Even though it's the natural progression, but I've reached this benchmark. I've done this. I have a sense of accomplishment. You know what I mean? Because everybody else is losers. You know what I mean? Not that they're losers personally, but everybody else didn't reach this feat. Everybody else didn't battle through all this. Everybody else didn't get through the Cincinnati and Purdue game and in the Illinois game. And there was so many other games that were just real close. But just to have that accomplishment with the guys who you actually put in work with, and it started in August, it means a lot to me. And those are memories that you'll never be able to erase.
Well, on behalf on the Harding Telecommunications, Harding community, we'd like to thank you for coming in and speaking to us and giving the student body a sense of hope, inspiration. And we hope to see you at the game tonight. Thank you.